Hi Barbie. Hi Ken. Hi guys. Welcome back to my channel. It's Nana here once again. So today I am feeling very babylicious in my little pink with my butterflies and my chopsticks in my hair. I feel really cute. Anyway, so today I wanted to come in here and have like a very quick chit chat with you. This is going to be another installment in the adulting series that I started some time back on my channel, but I took a bit of a break because it felt a bit too vulnerable for me. And speaking of which, today's topic is about vulnerability. So I recently thought of this analogy recently around vulnerability. So vulnerability to me is like walking into a room naked, right? And expecting the other person to also shed off clothes once you get naked so that it doesn't feel as awkward because you're both essentially shedding parts of yourself and showing yourself to each other that, hey, look at me. I'm in this moment with you and you have nothing to be ashamed of, essentially. No judgment. We're just going to accept each other as we are. But then when you add that to the space of the internet, it becomes even worse. Where it's like you literally walked into a room full of people and you take off your clothes, and more people are like, hey guys, come see what somebody's doing. Somebody's like literally taking off their clothes right now. Let's all go see. Right? And instead of other people taking off their clothes, people begin to say, what's that on your body? Is that a mole? What's that? Explain this. Why is this happening? And then you feel the weight of what you've just done, like dawn on you that, oh my God, I am being judged for how I look. And sometimes, if you're brave enough, you can stick it out and continue to shed more layers until eventually somebody's like, you know what? I also have a weird mole on my back too. Or you have other people who go like, well, I don't have such a mole, but maybe this is something else that I'm also insecure about on my body and also shed some more layers. Essentially, vulnerability on the internet is not entirely safe, but it can create a safe haven for other people to also become vulnerable. Now, when I shared the video about how dating has been a bit tricky for me, especially when it comes to whenever I meet people, all the hopes and dreams that I have for what could possibly be, and then when it doesn't turn out like that, it can be very heartbreaking. I recently saw a TikTok that literally spoke it spoke to that exact thing that I was telling my friends about.
Are you single?
I am.
Oh, why?
I think my problem is that my Venus is in Pisces. I over romanticize things. So like I'll see somebody and then I write a script for like how our relationship is gonna go. And then it's like when we're together, they don't follow the script and I don't really fuck with improv. So I lose interest.
I do that. Me.
Did they put all that on a birth certificate?
And I always thought I was alone in that feeling. The TikTok was from the Hopeless Romantic Society. It's so true because I'm not gonna lie. I'll be the first to tell you I'm a very delusional person. Like when I meet somebody, my friends will tell you this. I meet a guy, we'll start talking in less than 96 hours. I'm over here be like, oh my God, we're gonna be such an amazing couple. It's gonna be so great. I can't wait to do this and 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 this with him. Like I'm already imagining our life together. I'm already like imagining how dating them would be like. And so instead of actually taking my time to actually listen to the things you're saying and being an active participant in what's actually happening and looking out for moments in their character that might speak to differing things or that might show them in a different light. I'm stuck in a state of limerence where I'm like, nope, I'm not going to see any of the red flags. They're amazing and they're amazing and they're amazing. And unfortunately, that always ends up in heartbreak because you have to pay attention to who people really are, not what you hope they're going to be, or not what you hope they are, because you end up breaking your own heart. So now, back to the topic of vulnerability. When you are disillusioned about what people are, right? When you're going into being vulnerable, one of the things I'm learning is that these are the instances where being vulnerable is no good. Don't be vulnerable if you are hoping that the other person is going to be vulnerable. Like, don't use vulnerability as a barter trade of sorts. Like, don't give vulnerability hoping to get vulnerability back, because then you would be disappointed because it doesn't always go that way. That's number one. The second thing, when you're being vulnerable, don't be attached to the outcome. Like, don't have any expectations around your vulnerability, in the sense that don't be vulnerable with the hopes that I'm going to be vulnerable, they're not going to judge me, and this is what's going to happen. Like, don't try to predict an outcome from your vulnerability. Instead, make peace with the fact that, like, try and think of all possible scenarios. If you're an overthinker like myself, think of all the possible scenarios that could happen and make peace with every one of them. That, okay, if I'm vulnerable right now and it goes well, what will I do if it goes well? Okay. If I'm vulnerable right now and it doesn't go well and it goes really bad, what will I do? Will I really regret being vulnerable? Am I just doing it hoping that it's going to go good? Because then that's not true vulnerability. So when you think of all the possible scenarios and you've been able to make your peace so that no matter how bad or good it gets, you're still okay with opening up, then you be vulnerable. That way, if the person doesn't become vulnerable back, it doesn't hurt them as much. If the person judges you or makes you feel horrible, you have no expectations on the outcome. So you're like, you know what, it's fine. I've made my peace with it. I'm cool. If the person ends up actually being vulnerable back with you and everything goes great, you're like, okay, I have been vulnerable with you. I had no expectations. You're being vulnerable now. I'm going to hold space for you and make sure that your vulnerability is not used against you, or whatever it is, essentially. So that is something that I've been learning when it comes to vulnerability. Another thing that I've also learned about vulnerability is this: there is such a there is there is such a thing as oversharing, but oversharing is only from the perspective of the other person. What do I mean by that? It means that if I have 5 apples and I'm like, I want to give 4 out of the 5 to you because you want apples. Maybe from your perspective, you only needed one. You'd be like, okay, this is too much. Why are you giving me 4? I actually just wanted one, right? But if you're somebody like you really wanted apples, like, oh my god, this is great. I really wanted all 4 apples. Like, maybe even all 5, but thank you for giving me this. Like, regardless of how much I'm giving you, how you be able to receive it is only based on your capacity to take what I'm giving you, right? So whenever somebody says you've overshared, it just means that they don't have the capacity to receive everything that you're giving them right now. And I don't think you should resent them for their feelings. Instead, it should just inform your decision that, okay, so such a person cannot handle such depths of vulnerability. So maybe the next time I'm gonna like share something with them, it's going to be this much. Another thing that I also learned is that when you are building a relationship with someone, and by relationship, I don't only mean like a romantic relationship. It could be a platonic one, it could be friendship, whatever it is. The right formula for sharing and being vulnerable, it's a 1:1, meaning that you share something about yourself, they share something about themselves, so that at every point in time, you guys are in tandem with each other. Maybe at most, if you're an oversharer, you can share 2 things about yourself, maybe they share 1 thing about themselves, but there's always a bit of a give and a give to a degree. But whenever it becomes like a 3:1 or a 5:1, it becomes unhealthy, because then again, here you are naked in the room, and the other person's like, actually, I'm just going to take off my hat, even though I don't need to take off my hat. I'm doing it so that you feel good about yourself, because then that way you always feel like you're in a deficit, and it doesn't help you bridge the gap of really getting to know the person. So that's another thing that you are going to consider. Anyway, guys, so that's what I have for today. I don't know if anything I said makes sense, because I was rambling a little bit, but let me know if this was helpful. Comment down below what are your tips are on vulnerability, how you choose to be vulnerable, and What are some things that us oversharers and people pleasers and anxious attachers can learn from you? Let me know down in the comment section below. Also, if you guys like these kind of videos where I'm just spitballing, just very random thoughts in my head, I come and share with you what I'm learning on my adulting journey. Please let me know down in the comment section below. And if you have nothing to say at all, just leave me a bunch of butterfly emojis and pink hearts. Butterfly emojis and pink hearts. Down in the comment section below if you like my pink. I'll see you guys in the next video.